So hey there and welcome back, and I guess today is time to test just a run-of-the-mill Android mid-ranger. There's nothing special about this Xperia M4 Aqua from Sony. It's not quirky in its design, it's not premium build, it's not rare, and it doesn't really offer anything out of the ordinary. I don't know why I'm showing you these codes. Anyway, here is the phone itself. And well, really, it's not looking in bad shape, but it's not great either. I will try to explain to you along the way, but let's look at what's in the box, or rather what's left in the box after years of usage. So I have here another adhesive for the back plate. This has been replaced a couple of times, and well, that's due to a pink hard carrying case, and really that's about it. Now, you must understand, I got this thing from a relative of mine, a dear member of the family, and he just wanted to give me a spare phone. Well, thank you, I guess, as I usually hoard, collect, and buy useless and obsolete tech stuff like this. It was just right up my alley. Now, construction, it's glass on the front, but plastic on the frame, the chassis of the phone, and the back plate itself. It's looking rather dirty, so let me just get a piece of cloth to clean it with. Okay, now that this thing is marginally cleaner, let's turn it on and talk about the phone itself a bit more. So the Sony Xperia M4 Aqua was supposed to be a mid-ranger. It was released in 2015. It's got, moderately compact dimensions for today's world, but really it was supposed to be a bigger phone, I guess, in its time. So it's 145 millimeters tall, 72 and something wide by 7.3 thickness, and really, I guess it was supposed to be quantity over quality, or that sort of philosophy, bang for your buck. It's got a bigger screen, and compared to a flagship, it's not compact in any way. So let's just check out this thing a bit in depth. Actually, I'm kind of impressed by the screen, even though it's an LCD and it has, it's a 5-inch LCD display with 720 by 1280 pixels, so about an HD resolution. Really, it's very crisp, very legible. It doesn't have any, that thing where the pixels go blurry. I don't know how to explain it. Older PCs got that. I know this is a phone, but anyway, LCD screens, I was expecting it to be a bit inferior compared to an AMOLED, which I guess it is, because this is my Samsung S20, but still pretty close if you ask me. So anyway, Sony did their job when it comes to LCD and screens in general, so it's miles ahead of anything from a mediocre Chinese producer from that time and era. So the phone itself is wow. What I was going to say is that it moves pretty well, all things considered, because this is, it's a mediocre chipset. I'm using the word mediocre too much, aren't I? It's got let me get to that, Qualcomm Snapdragon 615. It's an Octa-core chipset. Four CPUs are of 1.5 gigahertz Cortex A53s, and 4 are 1 gigahertz A53s, and it has an Adreno 405 GPU, but it moves extraordinarily good. And all things considered, also the battery is great, because this thing is at 82%. This morning when I was thinking to myself, I got it about roughly 2 months ago, and I thought before filming I should, you know, open it up or charge it or whatever. But most impressive, the battery was at 86%, and keep in mind that this is an unused phone. For, I guess it was sitting in the drawer for about way longer than it's supposed to be, so great at that. I decided to switch to a more tabletop view due to this rather lack of contrast in the black on black design of the Sony phone. So the construction itself is above average even for 2015, and I guess it's mediocre for today, because I think it bends, and I know it bends and flexes a bit. Though this phone doesn't creak, I'm not gonna jerry-rig everything here and try to break this in half, because I'm sure that the weakest point is right here, where this central lock button creates a gap in the structure. So let's just leave it at that. Now, I'm not really used with this Sony type of menu, and I cannot really tell you a lot about how this thing performs. The camera app seems to be opening quite slowly, but that's to be expected of a mid-ranger or entry-level phone. I honestly can only compare it with my Samsung Galaxy J5 from 2017. I'll just take a quick pic and show it to you. So really, the phone itself seems to be moving quite okay relative to its age, and let's see if I can increase the luminosity on this display. So the phone itself is moving quite okay for its age and its specs, but really I don't know, I wouldn't recommend it as a daily in today's world, but still it's impressive by its battery time alone. So what I think you should do with one of these, well, if you get it extra cheap for about, I don't know, $50, 50 euros worth of currency in your own country, an okay phone like this would serve you, would suffice for basic functions. It's got a jack connector. It's got enough goodies to keep you going. It seems to have okay battery life. Now I might be mistaken here, or this might be a slightly less used variant of the phone. Really, I cannot give you full insights into Sony, into this model or into Sony models in general, because I never used them. Though I wish I had, and I would like to get my grubby little mitts on a top-tier Sony flagship from 2020 onwards. But that's another story. Now, in terms of quirk factor and collectability, this really has none, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to you as a collector's item. I don't think it will gather any value. It will not increase in value over the course of the next few years, and it's not a particularly important member of the Sony phone family. So while I'm talking, I'm just going to quickly show you why I have this piece of adhesive for the backplate. This thing is plastic and it's removable, so in case you are wondering what a Sony phone from this era looks underneath, here it is. Feast your eyes on the Sony M4 Aqua interiors, innards and gizzards and guts and whatever. So yeah, Now this thing is loose not because of lack of care or attention by the user, but because the SIM connector, the SIM tray or whatever has gone bad, and I have it as a replacement somewhere. But for all intents and purposes, this thing is a functioning phone. So I'm just going to put the back plate on and really just weasel myself out of this review, because I don't really have anything else important to tell you about this Sony Xperia M4 Aqua, other than the fact that it's a phone, and if you got it for free or cheap, it's not a bad phone at that. All things considered, I wouldn't recommend it in 2022, and I wouldn't recommend it as a collector piece or as a holding onto it as a memento or stuff like that. So if you have one of these and you will not use it, just give it away to somebody in need. I guess that's what I'm going to do with this one as well. I'm going to pay it forward and just help a person in need if they can use it, but not before I replace the whole SIM tray situation. So I guess that has been it for me, and of a phone that nobody cares for or will remember in 2 or 3 years' time. And remember, I own, hoard and collect useless, obsolete tech stuff like this one, so you don't have to. Thank you for watching and have a great one. Bye bye.